Hey, what's up, everybody? Scott Zlateff here, and I am so excited about the coming year. And I'm going to show you how to unlock your commission magician within you in 2013. And I was actually going to cut this training and have it specifically for my team in the Empower Network within our team site. But I decided, as a gift to everybody, whether you're on my list, whether you're not on my list, whether you're just been kind of scoping everything behind the scenes, or maybe you're on the fence and you're like, well, I don't know if I really want to do all this stuff, not really sure. I wanted to give this to you as a gift, a New Year's resolution. Everybody's got them. And so that you can approach your business, approach 2013 with a whole different mindset so that you can make sure that 2013 is going to be the best year that you ever had. Okay, and when you join our team, we actually have a lot more of these different types of trainings and step-by-step tutorials within our team site, but we'll get into that later. Right now, I want to show you how you can actually go from where you are to where you want to be, and it doesn't matter if you're completely flat broke, and it doesn't matter if you can't work a computer, because honestly, this is why you want to pay attention to me right now, because I was actually broke. I was flat broke a few years ago. It was actually 2.5 years ago. I was flat broke. I didn't know what a blog was. I didn't know any of this techie stuff either. And I'm retired. It's funny how that can actually happen when you actually start making money from something you know absolutely nothing about. When I came online, I found a mentor, which is Dave Wood. He taught me a bunch of stuff, and it was really challenging because we didn't have the Empower Network in place. And I had to learn a lot of stuff, and I had to, bust my head up against a computer screen a few times. I had to do it because that's what I needed to do to be able to get out of being in a bad situation. I was actually down to $25 left in my bank account, and I had a 3-month-old daughter at the time and her out-of-work mother to both provide for. And we were living in a big house we couldn't afford. Our car was broken. I actually had a car. It was a 93 Toyota Celica. It was an all-wheel drive car. This thing, it was really awesome in its day. Okay, it was. But it was a 93, so its day was a long time ago. Well, this thing had tons of problems all the time. It was a complete money pit. I had to replace so many things. I actually replaced the engine in it. I did a complete clutch rebuild. I had to replace the timing belt went in it. Just on and on and on. This thing had nothing but problems. Right down to the point sure, it looked good. It looked really cool. A lot of people gave me a lot of compliments because it was rare. It was a rare car. But the problem for example, I had to get in by opening the passenger side door, reaching in through to the driver's side door and opening it from the inside, then coming out, shutting the passenger door, going around the car, and then getting in. That was the daily ritual that I had just to get in my car. Then to start it, I had to put the key in, and I had to jiggle the key just enough so that it would actually start. Then shifting, it was a manual transmission, so shifting was even a different challenge. Okay, sometimes it would do this really weird thing where you'd have to kind of push the clutch in and out a little bit just to get it to go into gear. Sometimes it wouldn't start, so I'd have to make sure that I would park on a hillside, so if it ever didn't start for me, I could just push it start a lot easier. Okay. Now I drive a Mercedes. Okay, within 7 months, actually, within the Empower Network, I made enough money to be able to buy a Mercedes, and I paid cash for it. Okay, when I retired, I actually equaled the same amount of money with the Empower Network that I was working as a full-time graphic designer for more than 12 years. It took me that long to scale up to that level of income as a graphic designer, and with the Empower Network, it took me less than 6 months to equal the same pay. Okay, so then I finally ended up retiring about 10 months into my whole business with the Empower Network. Okay, so I went from literally no car, broken car, struggling, everything, hardly knowing anything about online marketing, anything like that. Now I have nothing but time and money freedom, and I can now live a free life. Okay, so that's some of the things I'm going to share with you is coming into 2013, how you can position yourself no matter where you're at financially, where you're at with your time. I'm going to show you in the rest of this whole little training here, and it's just going to be, it's not going to be like a presentation, okay? It's just going to be me talking with you, okay? And sometimes there's some stuff that I'm probably going to be typing out as we're going, because I just kind of put this together last minute as just something, I just wanted to kind of give like, a New Year's resolution. A lot of people view that as a New Year's resolution type thing where, hey, we're going to kick this off with a bang. So you can go into 2013 and you can finally achieve the results that you deserve. Okay, so, oh, and by the way, and see, I'm not that professional, obviously. I did all this that I just mentioned to you with a list of under 100 people to start. So I had virtually no list, okay? Anything less than 20,000 people on a list is really nothing. And some people that, I mean, for me, for a long time, it was like anything over, if I had 2,000 people, I was like, that's an awesome list. But then I found out it's not. I started this with less than 300 people on a list, and I had no money for advertising, zero. Remember, I was broke, So I'm going to show you and teach you how to scale up and how to completely, wherever you're at, I'm going to show you how to get to where you want to be. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is your mindset. Okay. I know you've probably heard this a bunch, and there's going to be two types of people that watch this whole presentation. There's going to be the person that, is kind of the critic. They're always there. You're not going to listen to what I have to say, even though I just told you all the things I've been able to accomplish. And it's not just me, but I mean tons and tons of people. I'm just a mere fraction of one of the several. So, I mean, we have so many people making so much money here. It's not even funny. And it's done pretty much almost effortlessly for a lot of us. And some of us, we have to break through some different barriers, but you can get there. And for the person that is, kind of the skeptic, you're probably not going to listen to this, and that's fine. Then there's going to be the other person that is going to take action on what I say. They're going to be writing notes. They're going to be taking notes on this. They're going to, maybe do screen captures on what I've got written here, because, these are the things that you learn from other entrepreneurs, some people who, this is something that I learned, and I struggle with this a lot. When I start getting, I'm going to be real with you here for a second. When I start getting some success, I'll admit it, I kind of get a little bit of an ego, kind of pump my chest, but it's not too long before I realize, talking with other entrepreneurs and going through different trainings on there's so much knowledge out there, and it's when I reach a level of success and I think, wow, I'm here, then I realize there's so many more levels of success, and one of my biggest goals was to become retired before I was 40. Okay, that's been my longest goal. Well, I'm 35 now, and I'm retired. And so that's really cool. That was a really big goal. But now my goal is so much bigger. Now it's helping you retire, helping you get those types of things. Because it's one thing to experience all this to myself, but honestly, it kind of sucks when you're the only guy around. I mean, there's a bunch of people, all throughout the Empower Network who are also, retired, doing this full time. We chat all the time online, but to actually, have some people to just kind of hang and chill with, and be able to do something at the drop of a hat. Those are some of those things that it's lonely at the top, and I'm not saying that I'm at the top. I'm at a good spot, and there's nothing but future growth for myself and for you and for everybody involved. Okay, so and whatever it is and you can apply this same stuff. So if you may not even want to be in the Empower Network, and that's cool. Whatever you want to do, but whatever it is that you decide to do, these same principles apply to anything. Okay. So again, the goal is to get you to where you want to be in 2013. Okay, so in your mindset, the person who's really going to get a lot of value out of this is the person that's going to pay attention. Okay, so your why is the most important part, in my opinion, because you're going to have challenges, you're going to have struggles. As an entrepreneur, there's and everything in life, there's always challenges. Okay, it's your ability to deal with those challenges, and it's your why that's going to see you through that. Okay, and typically, for a lot of people, their why is, like for me, it's my daughter, who's upstairs sleeping right now. Okay, for some people, it might be just, you just want to, drive fast and look cool, whatever. For a while there, my why was kind of hidden from me, and there's a lot of different changes where your why, it will change, and you have to realize what your why is, and it's got to be strong enough to see you through some of the hard times. Okay, because you will have hard times. Okay, the next thing is WEIT. Okay, once you have a good solid why, then you've got to do whatever it takes. Okay, that means that if you're working full time. See, I came from a full time work environment where I was working 40 plus hours a week, plus spending time with my daughter, and then trying to have a life at the same time. I came from that environment, so I know exactly the level of commitment that it takes and the discipline that it takes. Okay. And, it could be that you've got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do a few hours of work before you actually go to your day job, and then maybe do some stuff at noon. And then when you get home, you might have to do some other stuff. Okay. That's just the way it is. And sometimes you might have some sort of idea, and the biggest thing is act now, take action now. Develop a take action now mentality, because if you do that, you're going to get things done, and you're going to get it done now and not tomorrow, because see, tomorrow just doesn't seem to ever come. So if you take action now, and you develop that take action now type of mentality, then you're going to be a lot better off. You might have to stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. There's been some nights, I will be honest with you, there's been some nights that I have, for a long time, this is actually before Empower Network, I had to work my ass off, literally. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's well, I can't really show you, but it's pretty much almost gone. Honestly, it was a long, tough road, because, the Empower Network really, really changed a lot of that for me. I don't have to work as hard now. And before, I seriously would wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would work on my business, then I'd go to work, and then I'd come home, spend an hour with my family, and then I would work until, midnight or 2 a.m. sometimes. And I did that for a year and a half straight. Okay. So whatever it takes, you've got to do whatever it takes. Decide right now, coming into 2013, write out a list and write out how much time things take you, and then write out, maybe even some budget stuff. And we're going to get into some financial stuff a little bit further on, so bear with me for a second here. Write down all the stuff that you have to do, and then figure out the times that you have available to you. Most of the time, you've got to give up something to get something, okay? We all have the same 24 hours in a day, okay? You have to dedicate a certain amount of hours to sleeping, at least, 4 to 6 hours. Some people sleep a lot more than that. But you've got to figure out what you're willing to give up to get. See, when I was going through all my growth cycles inside of my business, I actually stopped one of my passions for a year. And one of my passions, as a lot of you guys know, I'm sitting here, posing in some of my stuff. I was really into working out and bodybuilding. Okay, I never wanted to really compete. I just wanted to look good, sexy, or look sexy naked. That was my whole goal with working out, was I just wanted to look sexy naked. And so I actually gave up working out for an entire year to put that energy and focus into my business. Okay. Some of you, it might not be that. Some of you, it might be that You need to give up, some sort of vacation so that you can go on a use those funds to go on, like, an event that's coming up here with us at the Badass event in January. Okay. You might have to give something up in order to go to that event. There's a lot of different things. Decide what you're going to give up to get. Okay. Everybody has those, and you just have to take a step back and look at your life and see what you're willing to give up to get. Okay. Know your own buttons. Okay. This is a big one. The more you can kind of know and understand yourself and how you operate, the better you're going to be, the more chances you're going to have for success. Because this is what happens. You get into a spot and you want to figure out what it is that makes you produce. Okay. What makes you take action now? What makes you take action now? This is something that I learned about myself, is when I take action now, I have to be, my back has to be up against the wall. If things are a little bit too easy for me, I typically will slack off, and I think us as human nature, human beings, you get your back up against the wall, and the fit hits the shan, and you're one of two people. Either, it's the fight or flight. Either you're going to stay and fight, and you're going to say, oh, screw that, I'm going to make this work. Or you're going to, say, oh my gosh, this doesn't work, I can't do this, anything like that, okay? A lot of people, you got to know who you are, what motivates you, and then put yourself in those situations purposely to motivate yourself to take action, okay? And that's where the part of eustress comes in. Now, a lot of people see this word stress, right? There's two different kinds of stress. There's distress, which is bad for you. It's harmful to us. That's the stuff that, keeps you awake at night. That's the stuff that, gets the tension going in your neck. And right now, as I was actually saying that, you probably noticed that you probably felt the tension in your neck, because I just said that, right? Isn't it amazing how I can kind of read your mind? But the thing that you have to understand with distress versus eustress is, distress is completely bad for you, but eustress is good for you. Eustress is the stuff like, working out. It's stuff that makes you grow. Stuff that makes you grow, physically is working out. Mentally, it's good positive influences, which we're going to get to next. Things that make you stretch as a person, grow as a person. For example, 2 years ago, I never would have been cutting this type of training video for you. I still to this day have a fear of public speaking and being on stage, but that is a stressful situation that I want to get into, because I would really like to do public speaking. Funny how it is that my brain goes kind of completely brain dead when I see a room of more than like 20 people. I don't know why. But the only way to get past that is to put myself in a position of eustress and just go through it, because I will grow from that experience, right? Distress, totally different thing. I think you kind of understand the difference between those, okay? So now your influences are huge, okay? Going into 2013, I recall back when I first got started in this great industry that we have, make money from home niche, direct sales, home business. It was more than 10 years ago. And my influences were were basically a whole bunch of people who sat around, drank beer, and watched Simpsons and watched ball games all the time, and were, it wasn't a very productive environment, and I was the only one that was really into wealth creation and time freedom. Everybody else was just, looking to make as much money as they could so that they can go and blow it in partying, And I'll admit I had a phase like that at one time. But once I finally looked at my life and said, where am I going with this? I decided to cut off all influences. And it wasn't too long ago that I actually did that. It was back, I think, when I was 30. I was like, it was actually my 30th birthday. I looked at my life and I was like, am I happy where I'm at? And the answer was no. Did I like everything that my life had come up to that point? And the answer was no. And so I completely changed everything. I cut off ties with certain relationships, certain influences, and I basically started fresh and brand new. Now, I'm not suggesting you do that. My situation was just very extreme, okay? And, you know, a lot of very close family members I actually have severed ties with, specifically because those relationships just do not do any good for me. Not saying again that you have to, but the nature of my relationships were very detrimental to my own success, not only financially but also personally. You know, when you have some people that just kind of meddle a little too much and everything's in their business, you know. So that's why I ended up just completely cutting off, you know, certain influences that affect my life. And one of the biggest things you can do is look at your influences. This is why audio trainings are so critical to a person's success, because you can only focus on so much. Okay, you can only focus on so many different things. Your brain is only programmed to focus on you know, so many different things that happen, you know, because see, like right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you, you don't notice that your heart is beating. You don't notice how when you just take a deep breath, you don't even notice that you're even breathing. You don't feel the bottom of your feet. Okay. And you didn't know any of that stuff until I just brought your attention to that, right? You didn't feel the back of your head, you know, or realize that your clothes are feeling a little bit light on you right now. You see, you didn't realize any of that stuff because your mind wasn't brought attention to that. Now, the only reason why you notice it now is because I just brought your focus to that, right? So that's these are all the different inputs and things that are going on all the time, and your conscious brain just can't compute with all that stuff, so it generalizes everything. But your subconscious knows everything that's going on. So if you put positive influences into your subconscious on a daily basis, your subconscious takes control of all that stuff, and it embeds it inside of you. Okay. And sooner or later, you'll start developing different skill sets, different abilities that you don't understand why they're there, but it's a result of the influences that have changed in your life to put you in a position on a path to success. Okay, so influences are huge. I mean, they're basically, I attest pretty much all of my success to all the different influences that I have in my life, and the ones that I cut off. More specifically, see, I cut off a lot of different influences that just were not the best interest. Okay, now I have positive influences, and when you keep these positive influences with you all the time, you're going to be a lot better off. Okay, let's just put it that way. So moving on here. So influences, absolutely critical. You want to take a mental gauge. Okay, whenever you're around somebody or whenever you're with somebody, if somebody makes you feel a certain way, judge how you feel in their presence. Okay, does a person uplift you, or do they degrade you? Okay, now this might be a touchy subject for some people, because I understand that sometimes married couples and different things, there's some clashing there. And sometimes, you know, they might bring you down or degrade you or anything like that. So bring your focus. If you're in situations where you can't avoid certain influences, try your best to focus on the positive influences in your life. That's why, you know, audios with inner circles, you know, inner circle memberships, anything that you're with right now or you could be with. You know, like Empower Network, we got a great audio membership. It's an inner circle that does unbelievable things to your psychology. But when if you can kind of direct more of your focus to those influences, okay, to kind of try to drown out the negative ones if you're in a bad spot, okay. So now moving forward, now the next thing, you have to have a game plan, okay. Without a game plan, you have nowhere to start. Okay, you've got to have a plan and then follow it, right? So the first thing you have to have is you have to have a high converting offer. Okay, if you don't have a high converting offer, it's going to be really difficult for you to make money online. I'll just be frank with you. I mean, I struggled with it for, a good year and a half until the Empower Network came along, and I finally broke through because it converts really high and it pays 100% commissions. Okay, I had to work my tail off to get half that, not even half that. It was like a third of that, and I barely got that. And plus, I wasn't good at selling, so most of us aren't. So those are some of the things that kind of led me to that. But you have to have a high converting offer, whatever your offer is, whether it's direct sales, whether it's network marketing company, whether it's Empower Network, whether it's anything. You've got to start with an offer, and then know your costs up front. Okay, know your costs. Now, what I mean by cost is your time or your money, and both. Okay, you're either spending your time or your money. Nothing is free, guys. And for me, my time is worth way more. Okay, I would rather spend money than spend my time, because I've been grinding it out for so long, right? And I've been trying for so many years, and finally success. So know your costs up front. Know what your time is that you have available, and when you have that available, dedicate that time. Focus on those income producing activities, which we're actually going to get into in a second here. So know your resources. Okay, this is a really big one. A lot of people, they think of the costs and they think of their expenses. Okay, they think of, okay, well, how much does it cost to sign up? Okay, well, like in some cases, $25, $100, 500,000. Could be 20,000, whatever the price is to sign up and join and start and take action now and buy whatever the product is. Okay, when you're going to buy now, everybody looks at the bottom line, the price, and then they compare that to their checking account or their savings account. Do I have the money available? Okay. This is something, a difference, and this is something I learned and I learned it a while ago. I didn't even realize that I was actually doing it. It's just the fact that I wanted something so bad, nothing was going to stand in my way to get it. And I'm actually going to go into some type of, I call it financial awareness stuff here in a little bit, but you look around and you actually have a lot of resources. Most people have more resources than they know of. Okay, you could look around, you could see a whole lot of stuff, and that's all it is stuff. And you could sell some stuff. Okay, resources could be, friends, family that you could borrow from. Do up some sort of contract. Say, hey, I'll pay you back this plus interest. Rather than borrowing from a credit card, maybe you borrow from somebody else and pay them back interest. I've actually done that with a friend of mine. Loaned him a big chunk of money, and he's paying me back with interest. I have done that. Now, of course, I'm not going to do that ever again because I've learned my lesson. This was a big chunk of money, okay, that I did that with, and he's still paying me back on that. But that's besides the point. When you're looking at, like a sign up, let's say is $25, and then you've got, like an option to do an upsell of $100 for really good positive audio influences, like we have in the Empower Network with $100 inner circle, something like that, $125, that's chump change. You look around your house, okay? If your checking account is no money, okay? We're gonna get into the financial awareness a little bit later. I'm going to say the rest of that story for then. Now, luck. Everybody sees that a lot of people say, well, you just got lucky. You were in the right place at the right time. Well, duh, yeah, we are in the right place at the right time. You're watching this video. It's the right place at the right time. It's always the right place at the right time. And it depends on the right offer, okay? Depends on the timing of the offer, okay? But luck is actually not even true. Okay, some people they say, oh, they're lucky. Well, no, it's if it's anything, it's luck. It's an acronym for labor under correct knowledge, right? Because seriously, I had been in the industry for more than 10 years. Most of that, I would say about 9.5 years of that was feedback for me on the things that I did wrong. Okay. The things that I could have done better. You see, I was never a good communicator with people. I mean, there's so many different levels that, I tried to blame everybody else. I tried to blame the company. I tried to blame, the products, oh, the products need to be less expensive. Oh, I can't get people to just buy now. How can I get these people to pull out their credit card and buy when, I could barely even do it. Those are some of the things that went on in my life, previous to Empower Network and previous to the online world when I was doing stuff offline. I just couldn't understand and couldn't get any of that stuff to work. And it's because all of that was education for me. It was the education that I needed to apply at a certain period of time. I wasn't that type of person. I wasn't that type of person that could lead a team. I wasn't that type of person that deserved that amount of money. Okay. And so, then when I finally had all of the correct knowledge and I applied it and I took action and I started to get to work on an offer that converted really well and really high, boom, just like that, boom. I actually made over $1,000 my first day, okay? And it just kept increasing from there. Okay, so labor under correct knowledge, remember that. So let's get into some financial awareness. Now, I left this blank because I figured I would just kind of come up with some different things just to kind of cover and talk about. One of the things that I want to talk about is I want to touch on the resources. First off, okay, resources. You could just have. We already mentioned you can have stuff that you could sell. So let's sell stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to talk and type here at the same time. So you can sell stuff. Okay, you can have a car. You can have, maybe you have 2 cars. And you don't need one. Sell it. Seriously, sell it. Maybe you've got some different. Like I look all around, and there are so many things that I bought over the years that frankly, I just would rather to get rid of them. So I could sell those to fund my business, to do something. Okay, but the next thing. So resource, I think you kind of get the point of resources. Okay, credit cards, you got friends, family. You can borrow, $10 from 5 people if it's something that's $500. I mean, that's just different. That's 50. I'm so bad at math, but I think you kind of get the point. You can look around for resources and not compare what you have in your checking account to what you want. Okay, that's been my whole way of success has been, this is what I want. What do I have to do to get what I want? And what I have to do didn't really matter. I wanted it. That's it, period. I'm going to make it happen. What can I use around me? My resources. What can I sell? What can I do? Can I work extra hours? I mean, everything. Could I borrow this much? If I can borrow I did this. Can I borrow this much from this credit card and then pay off the balance on this one? And then I can write a check for this because this is on Friday evening. The check will not clear until Tuesday. And Tuesday towards about noonish, so I could actually pay cash for this. I could borrow from the credit card on Monday, and then I can pay this, and everything will work out and clear. These are some of the things that I would do to get what I wanted, okay? Now, not saying that that's like the best scenario, but if you wanted something, you can get it. You can get in, you can buy whatever, you can buy now, and you can join whatever it is that you're wanting to join. If you're on the fence, you can, if you're looking to upgrade to any type of products that your company has, you can do it. Okay. Now, here's the next thing I'm going to share with you. Very, very powerful in your financial awareness. Look at your spending. Huge thing. It's amazing what happens. One thing that a resource that I want you to take a look at, and I don't know if they have a free one of these, but look at getting some sort of income type of tracking software. Okay, like Quicken Books or something like that. Any type of thing that can keep track over the year. Okay, this was a huge, astounding thing. Here's one thing. Okay, most people, I'm gonna do this. Most people, they go to Starbucks. Go to Starbucks. Okay, I never go to Starbucks. I won't say never, very rarely. Okay, maybe once every couple months. Why? Because it's so damn expensive. Okay, you might be thinking, yeah, Scott, but wait. You're making all this money. Why not go to Starbucks? I might for a treat. I might go there to have a cup of coffee with a friend. But I'm never going to go through the drive-thru and just have one just to have one, because my financial awareness is so much different than that. Okay, and this is what I had to do because I was broke. Okay, one coffee at Starbucks is like $4, right? Let's just round it to 5 for numbers. Okay, times 5, that's $25 right there. Okay, there's a lot of opportunities that you can start for $25, right? I know one. Okay, that's just one example. Okay, look at your spending habits. Here's the biggest thing. This is just one example. I could go on and on and on how many times you go out to lunch, how many times you go out to dinner, how many times you order a pizza, how many times do you go get cigarettes, if you smoke, how many times do you go out for a drink, how many times how many times are there some things that you do that you could have the same type of thing, but you can do it yourself and get a lot less expensive. Like for $5, you can go to Walmart and buy a whole pot of coffee that's going to last you for 2 months. Okay, look at your spending. Okay, this I'm talking to the people right now that I'm really relating to you, because I was in that spot. I was so broke I couldn't afford to get no-dos. I lived that way for a really long time. And what I did is I developed a mentality of, so you want to develop how do I say this? You want to develop an attitude, or develop a business brain, I guess. Or develop business spending. Okay, let's just call it that. Develop business spending. Okay, now what that means is, this is what I did. Hang on a sec. What I ended up doing is only spend money when it makes you money. Period. No questions. Okay? This is what I had to do to get these different things. If it wasn't, I just developed a mindset for many years, because I was that in debt, I was that broke. I basically developed a mindset that unless something was going to make me money, I was not going to buy it. Period. Okay? I don't care if it was all this, flashy stuff. I didn't care about big screen TVs, anything like that. I would cut off, if, back to the resources, you might have a TV, that TV, get rid of TV. Huge. Okay. That is nothing but an income reducing activity. Okay. We call that the, income reducing activity, the IRA machine. Okay, let's do this, aka the IRA machine. Okay, that's an income reducing activity. So get rid of those different types of things. You'll be amazed at how much you can actually afford. You shut your damn TV off. Seriously, I'm just being honest. Okay, shut off the things stop doing the things that don't produce any income. I'm just being real with you. These are some of the things that I had to do. Now, I don't have to do these things anymore, okay? Because I can afford to do these things. I can afford to go to Starbucks. I can afford to have my TV. I can afford to take, my kid to some sort of, Disney movie that might be happening and do it on a Wednesday afternoon just because I can, right? I can take my kid to the dentist during the day because I have the time, okay? These are the things that you can look forward to, but right now, if you're in a spot, you've got to switch your thinking, okay? For me, now again, this might not apply to everybody. So if you're not in the spot, it's okay, but you're going to have people that are in the spot. I guarantee you. I mean, I would say probably 90% of the population is really in this, whether they realize it or not, on the things that they do, on how much money they actually waste when they could use that to fund their business. Okay? You have to be creative when you're in a tough financial spot. And these are the things that you can do. Okay? Now, I've done a lot of private coaching and private conversations with some people in my team, and they were just absolutely astounded on how much money they actually were able to come up with in 72 hours, just like that, because they switched their mindset. And now they are thinking in terms of an entrepreneur and a person with their resources versus what's in their checking account. Pretty astounding on how that can be. So I think I kind of beat this one to death. Your financial awareness, look at your spending habits. If you're not spending money, I'm not telling you how to spend money. Okay, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you're in the situation where you're wanting a change, sometimes you've got to start somewhere, okay? Sometimes you have to, you've got to reach a point where you say enough's enough. I was there. I was at that point where I said, enough is enough. I am damn sure going to change this, and nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to take action now. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to buy what I need to buy, and I'm not going to stop until I succeed. Okay? Now, that was the attitude that I had to take, and that's what I encourage you to take. Okay? So get your financial awareness. Then the next thing is pretty simple. Notice there's only one bullet point. Okay? Laser focus. Okay? Actually, let's say, take massive action on IPAs. Okay, now what are IPAs? IPAs are income producing activities. Producing activities. Okay, this is the biggest thing. Have laser focus. Whatever your thing is. Okay, if you're in a network marketing deal, laser focus on that, at least for a period of time. There's a lot of us. I know a lot of people see, like myself and a lot of other people, we're in a lot of different deals, but we do have like our main focuses. Okay. And one of the things that we do, the reason why we can get away with doing some of that stuff is because we do periods of laser focus on one direction. And when we get that going to the point of where it's basically on semi-autopilot, where it doesn't require that much attention to it, okay, everything requires some attention to it. You got to always keep your finger on the pulse of your business. And the more business ventures that you have, the more, different things that you need to pay attention to. So in the very beginning of any business, you got to have absolutely laser targeted focus on what you want to go, on your goal and what you want to accomplish. Okay. So when you have laser focused attention to exactly what you want to accomplish, keep focused, take massive action on the income producing activities that will achieve those type of results. And I guess I did spell that wrong. Activities. Yeah. Like I said, bad speller. And most people, and I get caught up in this sometimes too. You take a look at your results, okay? And if your results are not where they want to be in like 2 days, you're like, oh my gosh, it's not working. Sorry. And, maybe a week or a month. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a scam. It's not working. Oh my gosh. or even 6 months, or no, 6 months. Yeah, you should be at least getting some leads. I mean, if you're not, then you got to kind of reassess some different things and look at what you're doing. Most of the time, it's because you're not taking action. But most people get caught up in the results. That's what attracts us to the businesses like Empower Network. Like, you're watching this right now. You're sitting here paying attention because of the fact that I've made more from a part-time business than I did in a full-time job, right? I went from broke to now being retired in less than a year. And those are the things that draw us there, and you're wanting that result. Well, the thing is you can't pay attention to that result without these activities. So what makes more sense? Paying attention to the result or paying attention to the activities that produce that result? Okay? Start taking massive action and laser focus on the income producing activities on a daily basis. Okay? Daily basis. Now, what are some of those income producing activities? Well, depending on your offer, like for us, it's really simple. Empower Network is really, really simple. Okay. Let's see, blog daily. Okay. So we'll just say income producing activities. So daily. This is what I do in a day. Okay. Blog. I might do some research. Maybe some keyword research. Some people don't do that. These are just some of the things that I either do or might do in a day. Keyword research. I check ads, place new ads, email. I email a lot, as some of you might know. Email list, adjust autoresponder, listen to Inner Circle. I do this on a daily basis. Let's see. I come up with ideas for new marketing. Okay, and occasionally I'm not much of a reader. I wish I was. What I read are I read other blogs. Okay. I read, and they're just really quick too, because I'm more of an auditory learner. So that's why the Inner Circle is great with me, is because I'm an auditory learner. There's a disconnect with me when it comes to reading and comprehension. Not sure why. It's just the way I'm wired. If I hear something, I hear it and I got it and I get it, and I can usually repeat it for some reason. But the reading thing, it's just a troublesome thing with me. So read other blogs. I do that. I study sales psychology. Okay. And yeah, spelling again. So you get the picture though. This is the stuff that I do on a daily basis. Okay. I contact, the other thing too is I contact, new members of my team. Okay, and then I put people into TeamSite. Okay, these are some of the things that I do on a daily basis. Okay, now some of them are activities that I do all at the same time. Some of them are activities that I might do in the morning time. Then I go, run some errands, and I come back and do, different chunks of time. There's some days where I just sit at the computer and I do absolutely nothing but sit at the computer and just bang a bunch of stuff out all day. It depends on how I feel, and I have the freedom to be able to do that because I'm doing this, I'm doing it all the time, but basically part-time whenever I choose to. Okay, I do it in different chunks and blocks of time. Okay, so those are some of the things that you can do to completely change your results in 2013. Now, if you paid attention to all this stuff and you took some notes, maybe some screen captures throughout this whole process, you're going to have some good stuff to be able to reflect on, to go back on, and really this is my mode. This is how I got from where I was to where I am. Okay? The biggest thing is that you got to realize where you're at right now and where you want to be at the end of this year. Do you want to be in the same spot? You know, do you want to keep trying to do the same thing over and over? You know, do you want to have a better family life? Do you want to finally buy that car? Do you want to finally go on that trip, that cruise, or do you want to be able to just have the freedom to be able to take your kid to the dentist like I did the other day? You know, what is your why? Where are you going to do it? What offer are you going to use to promote that? And you know what? As always on these videos, down below, there's a button. You can click on that button. You can fill out the form, and you can learn exactly what it is that we do to be able to get these types of results step by step. Okay? This is Scott Zlateff. Love you, appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you into year 2013. It's going to be an awesome year. Take care. Bye-bye.